Good morning everyone, my name is Crystal. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It is Bank Holiday Monday and the sun is out and it looks like it's going to be a lovely day. So Bank Holiday Monday, I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Whether you're heading to the seaside, going somewhere nice, I hope everybody has a brilliant day. May usual, I'm staying indoors, catching up with some housework, as they call it, washing up, whatever, and just going about my day like normal. It's like a normal day to me, you know. Should take Max for a walk, try and enjoy a bit of sunshine, and yeah, I don't like the heat. I don't mind a bit of sun. I don't mind it warm, but when it's excessively hot, I just don't like it. I don't like getting all hot and sweaty in shops. I don't like walking around everywhere, and I'm not one for sunbathing really either. I don't mind like catching a bit of it, but I don't like don't really want a suntan, to be fair. So I go out for walks with my dog and catch a bit of sun, but I'm not going to sit out in it and get burnt or whatever. I don't mind it warm with a nice bit of breeze, but when it's really, really hot, I just don't like it. And the brightness of the sun, my goodness, it blinds you. It just blinds you. You look at that sun, you've got an instant headache. So I just keep away from it. I put my sunglasses on like this, even in the flat, because the sun comes through the window. No, and it blinds you. And then you get one of those headaches. You're out for the day. Completely can't do anything, got to lie down in a dark room, so it shines right through the window. And I've got a blind and I've got a bit of frosted glass effect cover. No, just gonna get my coffee. At the moment, I've got no interest in TikTok whatsoever. I haven't. They've had new rules in effect from the 20th of May, which I didn't realise. People have been talking about it on TikTok, that there have been new rules. And because I can't live stream, I've been going into other people's live streams and browsing theirs to try and get tips on how to do a live stream without getting banned for 7 days over something stupid. So it's all right for people to come into chat rooms with derogatory names. It's all right for people to come into live streams with rude names. And if you say, go away, you get warnings. So if they come into your live stream and you add them, and you've got to be wary of what your guests are saying as well. So if they swear or make any like sexual innuendos, then you can get into trouble for what they're saying. And it's too stupid for words. You can't even have any cheeky banter with somebody, so basically it's just not worth it. TikTok wants you to just sit there, smile, not say anything bad, or criticise or anything like that. You've just got to sit there like a dummy, Max. And you've got to sit there like a dummy and just be nice. and not say anything that could be construed as, I don't know, hate. People are getting banned for just saying, oh, it sucks. Oh, it's ridiculous. So, you know, is it worth coming back live streaming? Probably not. I just continue to do my YouTube videos. You've got to sit there and people can slate you, call you what they like, and you've got to sit there and smile and not say a word against it. So I just find it, you're suppressing people. You're suppressing people's what they're allowed to say, and you're stopping their personality coming through. And you know, I don't agree with it. And maybe they don't. You know, people that are being have got monetized channels. Perhaps they're trying to stop them making money by keep banning them. And then eventually the whole account gets banned. You see, you've got to be careful what you put in your videos as well. Your little videos, got to be careful, because they'll mute them. So you do a 5-minute video speaking and find it's been muted, which is a pain, and you've got to be. It is absolutely ridiculous. I think people would just give up and move on to something else. I mean, it's silly. Allowing trolls to bully creators and upset them, but they're getting away with the most horrendous things that they're saying to people and upsetting them. They're getting away with it. So I got one warning for basically telling a troll to go away. A troll. Not the rest of the room, a troll. And then 3 days ago I did the same thing and they banned me for 7 days. So you've either got a choice of let the trolls say what they like and get away with it, or just do your live stream but with nobody speaking, muting them all. So they're watching you, they're still watching you, thinking what they're thinking, but they're not writing it down, well, because you've stopped them from doing that, which is not, you know, it's not the same. So I don't know if I'll come back doing a live on TikTok. I really don't. So last night I took Max out for a walk, and I went on the field, to walk round the field, people about, so I'm picking Max up, walking, and I can't be myself because I have a stalker. I have a stalker that won't leave me alone. He loiters about. I've seen him 3 times over the past 7 days. 3 times. It's easy for people to say, like, go out at different times, but he knows a lot of people. I know he does. And obviously they're relaying to him where I am and what I'm doing. He knows kids, teenage lads. He knows teenagers. So when I went out for a walk on the fields yesterday, there was teenagers climbing up the disused crane, and they could have hurt themselves. They were climbing right up to the top of a crane, disused, dangerous, and I just turned my back on them, walked away from them, pointed the camera in the direction opposite them, and kept out the way. Charlie does speak to teenage lads. I've seen him, and he's tried to buy tobacco off them. He's a violent drunk, and yes, it is worrying, because if I'm ever left on the field with him and he gets angry, I don't know what's going to happen. I've got my phone, and obviously you call 999, but he is now loitering about. He's not saying anything, he's just loitering and staring. So one time he was walking up the road towards the co-op way up there, and it's a nasty look he's got on his face. It was yesterday. I'm not doing anything to him. I'm not going anywhere near him. I'm just, you know what I mean? But you have to record it. So yeah, I am putting myself in danger, but I have to record and film what he's doing and where he is, because he's stalking me. And this viciousness online, I told you he knows teenage boys. I'm getting bullied in the internet as well. And it's going to get to the point where I'm going to have to get the police to do something to stop him actually coming near me. So the first time, over 7 days ago, he was walking up the road near me when I was going onto the field. The second time I was on the field alone with him, alone. He was walking, I didn't even know he was on the field. He was walking, I was going this way, he was going that way, and he was just standing there with his back to me, and then he turned around and stared at me, and I walked away from him. Last night, I walked past these teenagers that were climbing up the crane, ignored them. They're yelling, usual kids noise. There was a woman that had gone in front of me, a blonde woman. She'd long gone because Max is slow walking, he's tiny and it's hot. So I was walking behind the blonde woman, but she was way in front. And the guys in the tents weren't hanging about, they weren't there. But I think they're mates of Charlie's. I'm certain they know him. So as I was walking off the field, it just seemed like a weird scenario. There were lads by the co-op yelling, and this lady looked like she had a Sainsbury's uniform on and platinum blonde hair. Platinum blonde. And she walked past Charlie. Charlie was there with a bucket hat on. So she walked past Charlie and she sat on the bench, and Charlie was just standing near some bushes like he was hiding behind them. So he was behind some bushes and I couldn't see him properly, but I knew it was him. So I walked past she had a Sainsbury's fleece jacket on. It's weird. And this lad went, I think it was like, she wants a drink, buy her a drink or something like that, was shouted out by a teenage lad. And I managed to get Charlie's dog, Samir, with his yellow coat, and he was hiding behind trees, bushes, loitering about. With his dog. So I'm getting a lot of crap, a lot of nasty things that I have to walk past and deal with. I rejected this guy. You see, the bloke, this Kevin Wilson on the internet, is saying the same things that Charlie was saying to me. Oh, I've fallen in love with you. I love you. This is what Charlie was saying in the physical form to me before I told him in strict terms to leave me alone and go away from me. Now he doesn't speak. He just stands and stares at me. No, because I've told him I'm going to call the police. I've told him. I said, you come anywhere near me, like right up to my feet, you speak to me, I'm going to get the police to remove you. I said, I have told you that I am not interested in you. Go away. I've told him to his face. And all these scenarios where people are being nasty to me and that, I feel they're trying to scare me, is because he thinks he's going to come and save me, yeah? Little squat, thin, skeletal bloke, yeah? No teeth, no hair, thinks he's going to come and save me. I got all this spiel that he was a bachelor. He wasn't interested in sex, yet he tried it on with me. Tried it on with me on the field. Touched me. Yeah. You have to date. Put the time down, the dates, what he's doing, what he's wearing, and what's going on around him, so that I can get a picture of what's going on, and so can the Kent police. There's always lads near him. Lads. One of the times that I met him, he was talking to a 15-year-old boy who was selling tobacco. And something was mentioned about drugs as well. I just want to keep out of it. Alcoholics, drug addicts, or do anything to get drugs or drink, and they involve themselves with the most horrendous people that could be dangerous. So I'm keeping out of it. I'm going nowhere near him. If he talks to me, I'm calling the police. Obviously not what. Do you know what I mean? I've pretended to be on the phone. It doesn't stop him. It doesn't stop him. I have told him more than once. I've made it plainly clear. And on the internet it was, we're falling in love with each other. And I've been sent indecent images. It's disgusting. It's vile. This guy is a maniac. Well, the guy that sent me those photographs is a complete nutcase. Absolutely. Anyway, he was loitering about. I came home, and of course, what else is going to happen? What else are they going to do? I just put LBC radio on, yeah, and next door. Because I told Charlie that I was having trouble with the neighbours, and the noise nuisance has obviously got worse since I told him, right? So, came home after Charlie. These neighbours next door here were nearly till 12 midnight, banging this wall here while I'm trying to listen to the radio, and it's not loud, it's on the quietest setting. So they're banging the wall. And deliberately, to try and get a reaction out of me till 12 o'clock midnight nearly. I was just sat on the sofa. It's no good going to bed while they're doing this. like just that on my wall. It's no good going to bed. So I've got to sit there. Well, I went to bed with the radio on last night, and then they finally, getting on for 1 o'clock in the morning, decided to go to bed. He's gone out upstairs, early start again, about 10 to 6. So his bedroom, I think, is above. So they're obviously disturbing him as well. But he doesn't say anything. He doesn't shout. He doesn't make a noise. The only noise that goes on is when his kids stay over, and it's his kids being noisy, not him. Fair play. The guy upstairs, I don't hear him shout. I don't hear him speak. It's the kids that are noisy, and he must just sit there and put up with it like myself. It's horrendous. It sounded like it's horrible. You can't. It stops you doing anything. You know, just deliberately banging the wall. Because one time I got cross because I was woken up in the morning at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock, mind, in the morning, with them making a racket, and I went, shut the fuck up. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Woke me up out of bed, and she comes out and started shouting at me. It's just weird. Alexa, LBC Radio.
LBC London, think global play.
No, as I've said to you, we're not in a position to make the change, and we won't be for several years, and so it's difficult for us to say exactly how we would
to say what you think, because you're not in power. It's difficult for you to say what you think should happen.
No, it's difficult for us to say at a future date what we would do with the policy in future. We opposed the cut in the first place. We were clear it was the wrong decision to take, but they've taken that decision. They've had that's created spending commitments and other changes to the public finances.
When you say
we can't just raise it.
Sorry to interrupt. When you say it was the wrong decision to take, was it wrong to take winter fuel payment away from millionaires?
Because the manner in which they did it absolutely was wrong. Because absolutely
it was
we
wrong
agree
to
that
take
it isn't
winter fuel payment away from millionaires that are already doing really well for this.
Well, I'm afraid that the collateral damage to that decision is that there are very many people who needed that winter fuel payment not getting it. And yes, it was the wrong decision. I heard from people in my constituency who really struggled as a result of that decision. More than 20,000 people who've had it cut. No. And so I'm afraid that they went about it in the wrong way. So it was the wrong decision.
And it's quite a simple question, really. Should millionaires be given £200 or £300 a year of taxpayers' money, yes or no?
Not a simple question, actually. As I've said, you need a mechanism. No, actually, you need a mechanism.
Put the mechanism aside. I appreciate your
well, you can't put the mechanism aside.
In principle, should millionaires be given £200 or £300 of taxpayers' money every single winter that they don't need? Yes or no?
Well, Kevin was clear about that. That isn't the best possible use of taxpayers' money, but you have to separate that out from what's your ability to stop that from happening at the same time as ensuring that those people who do need it, who do need that extra money, aren't adversely affected. And it was the wrong decision in pursuit of that to say, well, actually, we don't care what happens to all those other people, those many people who need it.
But you can't say at this point in time whether a Conservative government would give it back to everybody, including those millionaires.
Well, as I said, we have to look at the financial situation at the time in which we were able to make that decision, which I'm afraid we're not able to now.
Gotcha. Let me ask you about the other big row, particularly engaging the Labour Party at the moment, about the two-child benefit limit. Nigel Farage saying a reform government would lift the two-child benefit cap. A lot of Labour backbenchers, you all know, Ms Mullin, would like the government to do the same. Would a Conservative government want to do that?
Well, this is an easier question to answer because this is something that saves the taxpayer money. So we will not make a spending commitment, as Nigel Farage has done, to lift that cap. And let's remember why that cap is there. It is essentially about fairness. And it shouldn't be that there are many hardworking people who are making careful decisions about the size of their family and their finances, people on benefits being excluded from those types of decisions. That was the point of the policy. It remains the kind of core principle behind it, and why we're sticking to it. It's for reform
This
to
is a
make a
move.
promise that they
The
can't
policy
afford.
that you would rule out the change that you would rule out making is widely accepted, according to independent analysis, to lift 250,000 children out of poverty pretty much overnight, and you're opposing that.
There are always things that we can do when it comes to child poverty.
And this is
During
the
our
most
time,
obvious.
during our time in government, the number of children in absolute rather than relative poverty went down by around 200,000. So we had a
The
record
number in
trying to
relative
drive
poverty
down.
overall went up by 600.
Well, I think most people, if you're asking what people are most concerned about, I think they're concerned about absolute poverty, which is actually people not having the basics.
Mr. Mann, there's 4 measures of child poverty.
Yeah.
3 of them show that it went up under the Conservatives. 1 of them showed that it went down. You're dwelling on the 1 rather than the 3 that showed it
But I
went
think
up.
it is the most important
Well, that's
measure.
convenient,
I
isn't it?
actually
Because it's
care
the only
about
one that showed it went up.
The absolute level of poverty in society. That is the thing that I think is most important. Are you saying, Ben, that you think that relative poverty is more important than absolute poverty?
I'm
Of course,
saying
it's not. Everyone would agree that absolute poverty
saying both
is the most important measure. And so I think we had a record in driving that down. We should always be looking for ways to take that down further. But what we shouldn't do in pursuit of that is create unfairness that people who are paying their own way and who are making decisions that they have to make based on their incomes. And
Just to be really clear, Mr. Bunn, you can categorically rule out taking 250,000 children out of poverty by lifting that cap, but you can't rule out giving the winter fuel payment back to millionaires.
As I said, there are 2 completely different things. One is a spending commitment, and one is a saving of
It's an interesting set of priorities.
They are completely different things when it comes to a commitment that you can make. You can make a commitment to save money, inevitably, in a future date. You can't, I'm afraid, make the same commitment to spend money, because that will depend on what money is available in the economy.
Okay. Can I just ask you about another story on the front page of the Telegraph? In fact, Donald Trump is reportedly very concerned over the fate of a woman called Lucy Connolly. You'll be well aware, so I'm sure, that she is a woman, a mother, 31, who was sentenced to 31 months in prison after posting following the Southport attack, saying effectively she wouldn't care if hotels full of asylum seekers were burnt down. The White House seems to think that somehow this is an attack on free speech in Britain. Do you share that concern?
Well, I think I understand why people feel that there's a bit of tension between the sentence that was passed and the decision that's been made, particularly post-sentence, in terms of letting Lucy have visits as someone who's a mother, versus at the same time Labour announcing that they're going to let out rapists,
But that's
child
not, the
abusers,
suggestion is that Donald Trump thinks that
other
jailing
people
somebody
who,
for...
if I can finish, others who are some of the worst offenders in our society. I think that's probably the bigger thing that constituents have raised with me.
Right.
I'm not sure it necessarily has implications in relation to free speech personally.
Is it a matter for Donald Trump? I mean, we read this weekend he sent a team of officials to the UK to look into concerns over freedom of speech. I mean, this is undue interference by a US administration in British domestic policy, isn't it?
Well, I think when it comes to Donald Trump, we're all going to be spending a lot of time pondering the ins and outs of all the decisions he takes. Whatever he may say, America remains a key ally of ours, an important economic, military, security partner. That's what's most important to our relationship.
It is, of course it is. But I'm simply saying this is not how an ally behaves.
Well, as I said, Donald Trump is a unique president when it comes to how he chooses to make his views known, to work with allies. But we are his allies, and I think that is what's most important on. That's what the government should be focused on, and that's certainly what I'm focused on as an MP.
You wouldn't respectfully ask him to butt out and back out of domestic UK policy matters?
As I said, I think what's most important is we focus on the manners in which we do continue on a day-to-day basis to work extremely closely with America, particularly on military and security concerns. That's what the government should be focusing on.
Understood. Really appreciate your time this morning. Thank you very much, Niamh, for talking to us. Dr. Kieran Mullen, Shadow Justice Minister, Conservative MP for Bexhill and Battle. We will look at a lot more detail in that story. Why is Donald Trump so concerned, reportedly, about the fate of a woman in the UK jailed for inciting racial hatred? And is his apparent concern justified? Lots more of your calls to come on that in just a moment. News headlines first, 9 o'clock the time. Here's Thomas Watts.
On your radio, on the LBC app, and Play LBC.
Leading Britain's conversation. This is LBC.
From Global's newsroom, Donald Trump has called Vladimir Putin absolutely crazy after a weekend of Russian attacks across Ukraine. The US leader has warned he's absolutely considering new sanctions against Moscow. Air raid sirens continued to sound in Ukrainian cities overnight. Mr. Trump spoke to reporters as he left an airport in New Jersey yesterday evening.
We're in the middle of talking and he's shooting rockets into Kiev and other cities. I don't like it at all.
President, what do you want to do about that?
I'm surprised. I'm very surprised. We'll see what we're going to do. What am I going to tell you? You're the fake news, aren't you? You're totally fake. All right, any other questions? I don't like what Putin is doing, not even a little bit. He's killing people. And something happened to this guy, and I don't like it.
President Trump's agreed to hold off on his threat to impose 50% tariffs on EU imports to the US. They've been delayed until mid-July rather than the start of June to allow for more negotiations with Brussels. Disability benefit claimants could get more time to seek support before welfare cuts are brought in. Sir Keir Starmer is said to be considering tweaks to the policy, which is facing opposition from a reported 100 Labour MPs. The plans would tighten eligibility for some benefits. Health Minister Karen Smith, who's been speaking to Ben, has defended the handling of the row.
We are looking at all measures to improve money in people's pockets and to reduce poverty in the round as part of the spending review. That's important that we take a long-term look at this issue. The last Labour government lifted those children out of poverty. Of course, it's a central mission, that opportunity for children and for their families. Of course, it's a central mission of this Labour government.
Health officials in Gaza say at least 45 people have been killed in strikes. They included an attack on a school-turned-shelter in Gaza City. The Israeli military says it used precision weapons to target a Hamas and Islamic Jihad control centre within the site. The King is due to begin a two-day visit to Canada later, his first as the country's head of state. Charles will become only the second monarch after the late Queen to attend the state opening of Parliament in Ottawa. He'll meet the newly elected Prime Minister Mark Carney later today. In LBC weather, sunshine and showers for most places today. They will be heavier in the north and west, a high of 19 degrees. From Global's newsroom for LBC, I'm Thomas Watts. Today's another